Alright, USC 1300-09 N. Including change 8 of February 17th, 2011, 25th of May 2005, Unified Facility Criteria Design Procedure, Department of Defense, United States of America. Approved for public release, distribution unlimited, Unified Facility Criteria Design Procedure. Copyrighted material in the USC is identified. At this point, use of the copyrighted material from the USC must have the permission of the copyright holder, U.S. Army Corps of Engineering, the Navy Civil Engineer Command, Air Force Civil Engineering Support Agency. Introduction, Purpose, Scope, Organization, Document, Applicability, Reference, and Definitions. Chapter 2, Policy, Criteria, International System of Units, SI, Definitions, General Policy, Accessibility, Sustainability, Design, and Physical Security, Anti-Terrorism, DoD, Minimum Anti-Terrorism Standard for Building, Security, Engineering, Facility Planning Manual, Ownership, Project, Documentation, Registration, Certification. Chapter 3, Development of Design, Build, Request for Proposal, Design, Build for Request for Proposal, Preparation, and Layout, combining multiple requests for proposals into a one-bid package, project information form, electrical design deliverables. Chapter 4, drawing, requirements, presentation, drawing numbers, proper use of notes and drawings, discipline requirements. Chapter 5, specifications. Specification, requirements, guide, specifications, unified facility guide, specifications, regional guide, specification, other guide, specification, performance technical specifications, unified guides, UFGS, selection of order of precedence, memorization, policy, guidance, grammar, style, language, project specifications, standard plate sketches, details, property specifications, or equal specifications, experiences, clauses, warning clauses, unrestricted binding, contract parties, contract clauses, contract directions, specifying new items, coordination, specific drawings, precedents, coordination, specs intact, use of master format, specs intact, organization information, overall specification, organization of bidding requirements for contact requirements, project information form format, general requirements, division 00 and 01 specification section, environmental requirements, asbestos lead containing paint, PCBS, hazard material combining projects in one bid package. Chapter 6, contract, line item selection, contract line item schedule, options, items, adaptive items. Chapter 7, Electronic Design Deliverables Summary, Electronic Design Deliverables, ed format, requirement specification, requirements proposal, drawings, cost estimate, intermediate design, request for proposal, submittals, final design, final request for proposal, documents recorded, documentation, Navy Fact supported, ed substandard components, Navy Fact electronic signature requirements. General requirements, specific software requirements, wet sign design, document signature requirement for the design, build, AD, the media organization, general, minimum, final, substitutable, submittal requirements, minimum record drawing, submittal requirements. Chapter 8, design reviews, demand, major complaint region, activity reviews, design record reviews, Navy Flag Command reviews, other government design reviews, user project net, or DR checks, the final government approval. Chapter 9, pre-design submittal requirements, requirements, cost requirements, DoD 1391, furniture, fixtures, equipment, engineering study, solar analysis, engineering analysis, environmental requirements, field investment, investigation, line safety code, surveys, pavement evaluation, topographical survey, geotechnical investigation report, translation, requirements, management plan, or ramp. Chapter 10, design submittal with requirements, general requirements, discipline, specified guidance, number of copies, responding to review of comments, cost estimate, basic design, calculation, drawing, specifications, request for proposal, furniture, fixture, equipment, critical path submittals, concept design, submittal of the basic design, drawing, calculations, charters, and chartes, and functional analysis, concept development, studies. Design and development submittal with a 35 to 50% base of design, drawing, outline, specification, color boards, calculation, environmental report, pre-final, so the design submittal of the drawing, basis size of design, drawing, specification, request for proposal, project information form, color boards, calculation, facility, recognition plaque, final destination, design submittal of the basic design, drawing, specification for request for proposal, project information form, color documentation, binders, color, regulation statement of special inspections, additional overseas submittal of requirements. Chapter 11, post-design, post-request for proposal, development, submittal requirements, scope, pre-proposal, pre-bids, inquiry with request for information, change numbers, cost estimate, change format, language format, continued separation, continued seat, proposed change seat, drawing, changes and sketches. Chapter 12, Post-construction documentation documents, project closeout, record design, glossary A, appendix references, appendix B, submittal resources, table 11.1, specification request for proposal change format, table 2.11.2, drawing change format, figures 5.1, sample table of the content, combined projects, 7.1, figure, Navy factor proof symbols, number 10.1, quality review block, 12, figure 11.1, sample amendment, figure 11.2, sample contract modification. Alright, Chapter 1, Introduction. Purpose and Scope. The UFC provides the policy statement for the design, development, revision of the project documents, including drawing specification requests for proposal for the faculties combined, cognizant of the Navy fact the UFC has been developed to ensure the consistency, clarity of the project development, the form of the basic contract for the design and construction facilities. 1.1 Organization of the document. The document is organized as design policy, including the policy with the critical nature to the design, issue, the documentation, design stage of the pre-design and post-construction requirements, the design submittal that include each of the stage exemption common requirements, applying documents such as drawing specifications which are provided in several design stages. The most common, these common requirements are provided with separate chapters. Applicability. The UFC applies to projects all of the Navy fact and the activities of the contract that are preparing construction contract drawings. Specification request for proposals for shore facilities is applicable for the both design bid build and design build projects. Reference is list all the reference used in the UFC is at Appendix A. The definition, list of abbreviation, all other terms of the UFC is provided in the glossary. Chapter 2, Policy. The design Navy shore facility according with the Navy's Department of Defense criteria. The Department of Defense criteria, design criteria is available. The whole building design guide with www.wholebuildingdesignguide.org. CCB browsecat PHP O equal to 29 and C equal to 4. For construction criteria basis, website wholebuildingdesign.org. Construction criteria basis or design criteria included the general criteria, all specific criteria, particular elements of the work, geotechnical engineering procedure for the foundation, design, building, structures, facilities, bachelor's quarters, and design guidance for the typical form of the United States Unified Facility Criteria. The contract with reference is specifically applicable to the project, particular project deviation criteria must be approved with the Navy Fact Chief Engineer. Incorporability application provision, federal leadership, high performance sustainability buildings memorandum of understanding, technical guidance, achieve the high performance sustainability of the memorandum of understanding, technical guidance available. The whole building design guides website, the whole building design ODF PDF, sustainability of memorandum of understanding. PDF, International System of Units, Navy Fact Policies, Metric System, the Measurement International System of the Units and SI, Planning of the Design, Unified Facility Criteria Guide Specification, or UFGS, the Construction Contract Documents, MCON, BRACON, and Family Housing, regardless of the acquisition method. Further information, use of the system and instruments and projects and criteria documents of MIL Standard 300 3007. Standard instruments definition. Hard metric measurements indicate the non-interchangeable SI value, and based on the SI value, the change in size and property of the inch and pound value. Soft metric measurements mean mathematical approximations equaling with the conversion of the IP product. General policy. In accordance with the Public Law 94-168, design construction of new and renovated facilities shall be used in the metric system measurement unless they are impractical and they likely to cause significant insufficient loss of markets to the United States firms, specifically the hard metrics products, unless products that are unavailable to uneconomically drawings will not be accomplished dual units on any type of the project. Design agents, project the manager will be responsible making the determination on whether or not to use metric system of measurement on the project by project basis. Definition: not to use the metric must be justifiable documented in project files. Accessibility. Barrier-free design should be in accordance with the requirements of the DEPS Act, Defense, or the Memorandum of Accessibility with People with Disabilities dated October 31st, 2008. The Memorandum updates the DoD standard for making facilities accessible to people with disabilities. U.S. Access Board issued updated accessible guidelines with the DEPS Act, Defense, and the Memorandum implements the military unique requirements specified with the memorandum and attachment. The new DoD, ABA, or Architectural Barrier Act associated accessible standards of the DEPS Act, Defense Memorandum are located at accessboard.gov, ADA percentage 2 database to ABA standards, Department of Defense, CFM. Sustainable design. Following requirements of Navy Fact Engineering Construction Bulletin of 2008-01, Engineering Policy Energy Policy Act of 2005, implementation of USGBC LEED certification. Navy's Act policies reduce total ownership costs, include life cycle costs of shore facility, incorporating sustained development principles, strategies, planning program, design, construction, operation, maintenance, sustainment, and restoration, modernization, all facilities infrastructure project to the fullest extent possible, consistent with the mission, budget, and client requirements. For a suitable design procedure requirement of the construction contract, see the design guidance of the USC 3110 and the design general architectural requirements for the design building contracts and two general requirements of USGS 0133000520 construction submittal procedures, USGS 133100520 design submittal procedures. Section 0145000520 Design Construction Quality Control for the Design Building Contracts Part 3 Project Program. Chapter 1 of the Project Description. Chapter 2 Project Objectives and Additional Design Requirements. The U.S. Green Building Council's LED Green Building Rating System is a tool that implies sustainable development principle to measure sustainable achievement without planning the design and construction process. The project must meet the certification that are described in 5 ECB 2008-1-5 or F5. These projects must be labeled at LEED 5, Silver 5 level, unless justified conditions exist that the limit pursuit with accomplished LEED credits necessary for achieving the certified level. The government determines the minimum of sustainable LEED goals and verification methods. 2.5 Physical Security and Anti-Terrorism. DoD Instruction 2016 DoD Anti-Terrorism Standard OP NAV Instruction 3353A Navy Anti-Terrorism Program established policy physical security anti-terrorism design inhabited buildings to meet the requirements of USC 401001 DoD minimizing anti-terrorism standard buildings USC 401002 DoD minimum anti-terrorism standoff distance for the building. Combatant Commander Anti-Terrorism Force Protection Construction Standards. Important. Remember that the project document provided not only the minimum amount of information necessary for the installation, all elements required for the force protection must contain information on the force protection methods, philosophy, information design threats, as in the information considered sensitively or for official use only. Or DoD minimum anti-terrorism standard for buildings, UFC 401001 or UFC 401002 for use as only the FOOUO established standard to provide minimum level of protecting against terrorist attack occupants for the DoD inhabited buildings. The UFC is intended to be used by a security anti-terrorism personnel design team to identify the minimum requirements that must be incorporated other than design all new construction and many major renovations of the inhabited DoD buildings. It also includes recommendations that should be and are not required to incorporate in all such buildings. 252 Security Engineering Facility Planning Manual. The UFC 402001 Security Engineering Facility Manual presents processes for the developing, designing criteria necessary to incorporate the security anti-terrorism into the DoD financial facilities and identifying the cost implications of applying these design criteria. Design criteria must be limited to requirements of the minimum standards that may include one or four issues described below. Protection assets other than addressed at the minimum standards of the people, aggressor tactics that are not addressed in the minimum standards level, protection beyond the required minimum standards, cost implications, security, anti-terrorism are addressed in cost and over the conventional construction common and construction type. Changes in construction representative of these increases are tabulated with reference and only representative construction. They'll meet the requirements of the design criteria of the manual. Also address the trade-offs between cost and risk. The UFC 402001 is intended to be used by planners as well as security anti-terrorism personnel with the support of planning team members. 2.6 Ownership of the project documents. Clauses set forth in DFARS 252.2277023 drawings other data to become property of the government. DFARS 22771 review rights of technical data in DFARS 22772. Rights of the computer software documentation apply all the project design documentations. 2.7 Registration. Developing statewide project documentation under the direction of registered architects under the professional engineer currently licensed in accordance with the FARS 52-3625 requirements of registration of the design and development foreign project documents under the direction of registered architectural or professional engineer currently licensed by the United States or Commonwealth Territory, District of Columbia, or by the foreign country in which the project is to be built. Each drawing should only be sized and sealed dated with the registered architect or the professional engineer who is registered in the practice of the particular field involved for work depicted on the drawing serve the designer of the record for that work and comply with the requirements of FARs 52 through 3626, signing record documents in accordance with the electrical design deliverable requirements. 271, where special certifications are required for the design, certifying in accordance with the contract or local requirements. Chapter 3, development of the design request for proposal. Alright, Chapter 3, Development of Design Build Request for Proposal. The Design Build Request for Proposal may utilize the pre-design phase to help define the acceptable option of the project may strictly state functional requirements with also maximal design flexibility. Design build the contractor state functionality requirements preferred, however, the mold process to meet the needs for the using activity requirement in chapter the request for proposal development only. Design build request for proposal preparation and layout guidance preparing the request for proposal design build projects are available on the Navy FAC Design Building Master website or Whole Building Design Guides or org.nbm or Navy FAC Design Building Master. The site is intended to, one, familiarize those with the design building process with the request for proposal format, typically the request for proposal section. Allow those preparing the design build request for proposal to download an electronic document. The design build request for proposal website is organized using the tab of the major topic with the database of the request for proposal, the design build request for proposal, including design guidance and parts within each of the tab-related section are structured for the various categories of information in that section. Description of the documents in each part is provided each part of the tab. Request for proposal must also allow 6 requests for proposal parts indicated below unless all the non-applicable to be project. The typical facility project will have information on every request for proposal part with the possible exemption of the request for proposal part 5 prescriptive specifications. Typical part 1 is not prepared request for proposal developer it must but is provided with the acquisition offer. The request for proposal parts 2 and through 6 have been completed with the request for proposal for the developer. Verify the Navy FAC Engineering Command. The space of the tabs should be provided with the request for proposal for Part 1. Part 1 includes a proposal form documentation specified the contractor requirements. Part 2 contains the general requirements specification section. Some only available to design build websites. Part 3 contains project program for the project. Part 4 contains the performance technical specification. Part 5 contains the prescriptive specification required for the design build request for proposals. Part 6 is attachments, boring logs, references to drawing. 311 combining multiple request proposals into one big package. Refer to the Chapter 5 of the guidance for the request proposal. Multiple request proposals combined into one solicitation package. Alright, 3.2 projection information, PIF, provided with the complete projection information form, the pre-final with the final submitted with the projection information form that's available electronically. The Whole Building Design Guides website located wholebuildingdesign.org CCBS or under Specification Library Navy FAC Specifications. Electronically designed deliverables provide request for proposal electronically in accordance with Chapter 7 electronic design deliverables, organizing the request for proposal into 1 or 2 PDF files in order to show the table of the contents bookmarked each of the item below and additional items are located. Request for proposal cover sheet Part 1 divided when directed by the command. Overall request for proposal table of contents Part 2 6 Part 2 divider and Part 2 table of contents Part 2 specification section bookmark the first page of each section. Part 3 divider Part 3 project program cover sheet Part 3 Part 3 table of contents Part 3 project program Part 4 Part 4 table of contents Part 4 performance technical specification bookmark first page of each of the PTS or performance technical specifications. Part 5 divider if prospective specifications include the request proposal. Part 5 table of contents Part 5 specification section bookmark the first page of each section. Part 6 divider Part 6 table of contents attachment bookmark first page of each of the attachment. Chapter 4, Drawings. Requirements. Preparing the drawings in accordance with Chapter 7 electronic design deliverables and it is required herein. Presented the drawings shall be consistent with the presentation format in one of the disciplines. Show the material selection directly on the detail. Other disciplines should conform to that format. Not use to refer to the numerical legend elsewhere on the drawings. Drawing numbers. Whether for the Navy FAC drawing numbers on the government project manager or the design manager provide them with the following information. The amount of the numbers required for each project's maximum work order number, the project title, and the request for enough numbers, usually 10% or more. The additional sheets can be added if necessary, properly, or use the notes of the drawing. Be consistent with the grammar used with the notes of the drawing. Whenever possible, use the five statements to describe work accomplished by the contractor. For example, instead of using contractor shall provide, use provided is understood. The notes are written with the contractor's action. Do not use to be for the describing work will be accomplished by the contractor. To be implies that someone accomplishing the work other than the contractor, such as the government or another contractor. If the work is to be accomplished by the government, for example, say government will remove storage building prior to starting the construction. Do not use install for the work to be accomplished by a contractor. Install means government or other furnished equipment, materials, and contractor will install. And furnish means the contractor shall only furnish the government. Others will install and use provided when the contractor is to furnish the install equipment of the materials. Do not use proposed for new construction. Proposed means for the future work of the other means work not in this contract. Do not use new of the work in the contract. All work shown on the drawings is considered not new unless indicated otherwise. Inconsistent use of new throughout the drawings could mean that only some of the work is required. Do not be an ambiguous statement that can't be enforced by the inspector during construction. For example, the grade to drain or hand excavated carefully, provided the materials in good condition. Be careful with statements like remove and replace, which means to remove old item material and replace that item material when the work is completed. With the statement would be appropriate for the work on the pump station where the pumps were removed prior to the work thus same pumps replaced after the work is completed. On the contrary, if the portion of the concrete walk is cracked and requires replacement, say remove and provide concrete walk. When referring to requirement of the coordination between contractor and government agency, for example, the coordinated utility connection with the contracting officer, do not use the word such as Navy, ROICC, or Public Works, PWD. For government agency, do not indicate C specifications on the drawing. The drawing and the specifications form a complete construction package. Do not use all or any. Do not use words that have multiple meanings but require opinions. Judgmental decisions such as timely, nearly, good condition, suitable, well balanced, suitable for intended use, reasonable, approximate, reliable, proper, usable, appropriate, adequate, or qualified. Do not use words that are not biddable by the contractor nor enforceable by the government, such as recondition as directed, is equal to, as required, similar, as necessary, as close to as possible, repair, matching, existing, or refurbish. Some terms are only enforceable if the quantities are shown in the drawings, including specifications such as indicated and shown as specified here and as noted. Be careful when using the word typical, especially if there's an exemption to the detail. 4-5 discipline requirements set. See the discipline specifics of the Unified Facility Criteria and the contract for additional drawing requirements. Chapter 5 Specifications.